it hit me this morning. Like I played Forky, where I like trash
Yeah.
and Toy Story, and now I'm Poupelle, and I'm made of garbage. So there's a theme going on, sir. I don't know what that says about me.
Welcome to WatchMojo's Poppin the Culture, your weekly entertainment touchpoint. And me, well, I'm your host with the most mojo, of course. That's right, it's me, Mr. Ho-Ho Hollywood, Matt Demers. Such a fun show coming your way. I'll be speaking with Tony Hale about his voice acting role in the film Poupelle of Chimney Town. Plus, we're bringing a little horror to your holidays with Molly Quinn chatting about her part in the horror film Agnes. But first, let's jump headfirst into those Hollywood headlines. All right, as we do each and every show, we like to dissect some of the more interesting developments out there in Hollywood. And this is our holiday special, and of course, I had to bring him back before the end of the year. It's Ricky. Hey, Ricky, how are you? Rocking I love the sweat. Love the sweater.
Thank you. Straight from Nintendo. Our friends at Nintendo were so kind. They sent this to me last Christmas, so I thought I would I'd spread the cheer, you know?
Nothing says the holidays like Mario or a little Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, I love it. I love that shirt. You got to get me a link. Send me a link to it, please.
No, it's all mine. It's all mine. Hey, listen, we're going to kick things off here with a look ahead. And here's why. Because last episode, we looked ahead to some of the movies that are coming in 2022. A lot of big ones. Yeah. But dare I say, Ricky, some of the biggest things that are coming is happening on the small screen. That would be our TVs in the form of TV shows. Listen, I've got a list, and I want you to kind of chime in here as we go through it. Are you a big TV watcher? I know you're the video game guy.
Yeah, I love TV.
Oh, how do you?
Loved it.
How do you have the time?
How do I find the time? Man, I don't sleep very much. That's how I have the time. Thankfully, working from home, I can sneak in a little bit, a couple of episodes here and there. So that's past couple of years working from home, I've really buffed up my my TV and movie game. So yeah.
You're not alone. You're not alone. So for those that are looking for the next binge, well, here's what's on the horizon. All right, the biggest one, and by the way, this list I'm pulling from is from the folks at IMDb. They put together a list of the most anticipated, and I wholeheartedly agree with it, so I'm totally going to take it. House of the Dragon, this is GOT.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
I've been anticipating this one for a really long time because I love Game of Thrones right up until the end where I didn't love it as much. But I've always was really interested in the lore of Game of Thrones. I kind of read the histories of Westeros, and I thought this story was more interesting than the actual story of Game of Thrones. I love the backstory. I love the dragons and the magic and all of that. So, and it's so brutal and the lore is so deep that I really hope this series blows it out of the water. Like, I am hoping.
Do you think they better? Because my question for you is, do you think the fan base for Game of Thrones is still soured from that final season? It was so divisive, and people still don't like it. Do you think they'll be back? I think so. Check it out.
Absolutely. And again, it's set in a completely different era with much more magic and craziness. So like, if you were ever a fan of Game of Thrones, even if you hated the last couple of seasons, like I think you owe it to yourself to check this out. It's got a great cast as well, and it's HBO. I mean, they really don't do much wrong very often. So,
yeah, premium stuff. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they can pull it off once again. Listen, we talked a lot about the next one with one of our coworkers, Phoebe, who is a little obsessed with a little movie called Lord of the Rings. So she's excited for the Lord of the Rings TV series. This is another prequel. Not a lot is known. We know that it's already been, Ricky, they've already said they're going to do 5 seasons. It hasn't even aired yet. It's the most expensive show ever made. It's coming to Amazon. But I mean, it's got such a built-in fan base.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones as well. Lord of the Rings has been around, the books have been around forever. The legacy of that trilogy is, one of the greatest legacies in film history. And so it's one of those things where I'm not surprised that they greenlit 5 seasons already because there's so much story there. And I know, like, the great thing about Prime as well and Amazon is like everybody's got an Amazon account at this point. Even if you don't buy it for Prime, like you've got it just to get your packages fast. Yes. So
some people don't even know.
Watching. Yeah, some people don't even know. So you have such a massive user base that's going to be like, what's this? And they're going to watch it, even if they never cared about it. And it's going to bring even more new fans into the fold. So, yeah, you're going to have old fans, new fans, like everybody is going to be watching this. I'm really excited for it. I love high fantasy stuff. So anytime there's a really good new high fantasy, like Wheel of Time, whatever, I want to check it out and I want to see how good it is. And Lord of the Rings is like as good as it gets, I guess. So
It'll be interesting. Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, both prequels, both high fantasy, as you're saying. So I think that might be a nice little battle we've got going on next year. It'll be interesting to see which show's better. Okay,
I'm looking forward to that.
I'll go through a few others. Pam and Tommy is on this IMDb list. This is Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee, about a certain videotape that
that
came out
controversial tape.
Yeah, so that looks interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch it. I don't know how, but yeah, it's definitely maybe something you throw on just to see what it's about. But I don't think I'm not anticipating it. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I think this next one might be highly anticipated amongst comic fans, myself included. That being the Sandman. This is a graphic novel and comic series with DC and their imprint Vertigo, which is people have said has been unfilmable, right? But they said that about a bunch of other things like Watchmen. So I think now is the time to try and get us Sandman on the small screen. I'm super psyched.
It's such a mind bending. It's such a cool idea. I just so cool. It's got like that American Gods type of like all the the personification of all these different. But I don't know how they're gonna tackle. I mean, they can do anything at this point, right? Like visual effects, kind of story beats. Like I feel like they can string it together. And now is like I said, the small screen it's the golden age. So they can make anything. I think they can make anything great. And I think with the good writing and some good directing, it's going to be a really, really, really solid series. And I think DC, I watch Titans, which I absolutely love, and I see the potential. I love it, and
some people don't. Some people don't, but I think that they're diehards because they change a lot from the comics. But I enjoy it. It's highly entertaining.
It's highly entertaining. It's well written. The effects are great, and I think DC has a real life on the small screen. You've seen it through their movies. They have a lot of great animated stuff where they beat Marvel almost all the time. And so I think DC, the more they expand into the small screen, the more fans they're going to get, the more they can flesh out those stories that are not just centered around the big guys, the Supermans and the Batmans. I think that's where they're going to thrive, really. And I'm super. Anytime a new DC property comes out and it's on a small screen, I'm like, do more, please do more. Like, we need this, because Marvel's monopolizing it at this point. It's too much. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about a little Marvel movie in a moment. Yeah. I do want to mention just a few other here on the list. We won't go through the whole thing. Star Wars fans, I mean, they're psyched for Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is Ewan McGregor coming back, and also Hayden Christensen is coming back. Wow. Listen, I mean, a lot of people have a lot to say about those prequel films. I think Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan was probably the best part of it.
No question.
I think Hayden Christensen's looking for a little bit of a redemption here because he was... not the most liked. Let's just put it that way, right? Are you a Star Wars guy though? I don't know.
Yeah, I like Star Wars. I wouldn't call myself like a crazy fan, but I've watched almost all of them. I watched Mandalorian. I've watched some of the animated series as well. So yeah, anytime a new Star Wars property comes out, Book of Boba Fett, I'm gonna watch it. I'm into it. But I can't say that I'm like a diehard fan. Like it's really interesting to see the worlds and the monsters and just the way they like. It's just such an interesting world to dive into. But I'll definitely watch it. No question.
Obi-Wan, and I think Obi-Wan's a cool character to kind of focus on. So that'll be interesting. All right, let's end on some superhero stuff. Marvel. I mean, we mentioned Marvel having a monopoly. Their new Disney Plus shows, which are doing gangbusters, by the way. So here's what we have on the horizon. We've got She-Hulk, we've got Miss Marvel, and we've got Moon Knight, all coming our way next year. I will get your opinion in a second, but the one that out of those three, the one that I'm super psyched for is Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac has been cast in the role, and this guy, man,
so good. This guy's serious, man.
Perfect casting. But hey, She-Hulk, such an iconic character, and that's Tatiana Maslany, who did Orphan Black, an Emmy Award winner.
Yeah. She's that's another one I can't wait to see. Oh man, there's so many good ones on the horizon. Miss Marvel as well, Kamala Khan. Yeah, they're really fleshing out these less known characters, and they're gonna make them superstars. And I love that. I love that. Outside of just the Avengers, like I think it's so fun. It was great.
Yeah, and She-Hulk is going to be more like almost like a legal drama slash superhero,
Yeah.
right? Because she's a
Yes.
lawyer.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. And Moon Knight, I mean, that's Marvel's. I don't want to say their version of Batman,
But it is dark. Yeah.
it's
It's gonna
very
be
similar.
it's
in
gonna be
tone.
violent. With Oscar there, he brings so much intensity to every
So
role
great.
he does. He's such a master actor that I have faith that he's gonna make this like a very unlike any Marvel property I think we've seen before.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to continue to make ours Marvel because our next topic has to do with Spidey, Spider-Man. I mean, listen, we've been talking all about this movie, the hype, the rumors, the innuendo. Don't worry, no spoilers here. Although I'm sure most of you have seen it because,
Yeah.
man, the opening weekend at the time of this recording, Ricky, jaws are on the floor in Hollywood because we are still in the pandemic COVID era
Yeah.
of the box
Yeah.
office, and it shattered expectations. 253 million in
Crazy.
North America only.
Alone. Yeah.
That is mind blowing.
It's like half a billion now. It's crazy. It's like over 500 million at this point internationally, I think. And it's getting up there with Endgame, man, and Infinity War. It's getting up there with those guys. I saw it Friday.
I was gonna ask you if you saw it, but I have people on my timelines that have seen it multiple times. So this is
Already.
one of those movies that like people just keep going back.
That's
All right,
right, yeah.
I'll tell you what I thought, and no spoilers because people will send us hate mail for those that haven't seen it. But
Right.
what did you think? Worth the hype?
Let me just, and then some. Let me just say it was one of the greatest ways to round out that trilogy. Really, as a Spider-Man fan who's been watching Spider-Man since the very first film, I can say that it's been a dream come true for anybody who loves Spider-Man, for anybody who loves Marvel, but really like for the character. Tom Holland is just so good in this movie.
So great.
He's fantastic, and he really brings Peter Parker to a level that we haven't seen him at this point. So vulnerable, so broken, so essentially a hero. And that's without mentioning all the other incredible the pacing, the visual effects, the story, the character development. It is a must see movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Do yourself a favor. You will not regret it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, you're right. 100% a love letter to the Spidey mythos and a crowd pleaser through and through. I watched this in cinemas on the big screen, obviously, and spontaneous applause. Ricky.
Yeah, all the time.
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe 5 times throughout the movie, like where the audience just, and you're watching something exciting when it can just grab. Yeah, no, you're right. It is special. I think that's a great word to use. So yeah, there you go, Spider-Man, and it's, as you mentioned, the numbers keep going up.
It's gonna break the box office. I hope it beats Endgame. I really hope it beats Endgame. I want it to be the number one because it deserves it so much. It is so good.
Yeah, and even with everything going on, so movie theaters are saying a big thank you to Spider-Man for potentially saving that cinematic going experience.
Yeah,
because it was fun to see on the big screen.
Oh, I watch an IMAX. I mean, I watch
too.
every Marvel movie IMAX, first night, opening night when I can, and it's the only way to experience those films. If you can't, like if you have the opportunity, do it. You won't regret it. It's so good. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so I hope that doesn't go away because you're right. I'm right there with you. Okay, finally, before we round out our Hollywood headlines, I tasked you with coming up with some video game, and I loved when I got the video game guys because, well, I dabble in it. But I don't have the time. Okay, I have to get some beauty sleep. I don't have the time to play the game, so I like the video game guys to recommend stuff. Now the holidays are upon us, so some people might be watching this over the holiday break, looking for things to play. What are Ricky's picks? This is all you, Ricky.
All right, yeah. So I got a couple, and we'll start off with building on Spider-Man. Last year, Spider-Man Miles Morales came out around the holidays, and it's a holiday-themed game. I mean, it takes place at Christmas. You got this great story fleshing out Spider-Man and Miles as his own Spider-Man. I play it every year on Christmas, and if you haven't played it, you absolutely need to play it. It's so great. The story's great. The gameplay's amazing. It's on PS4 and PS5, so almost anybody can get it at this point. And I highly, highly recommend it. Get in the holiday spirit. Celebrate Spidey. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. You're not gonna regret it. And then a couple of party games I always like to play during the holidays. There's the Jackbox Party Pack. which is a really Jackbox games are great. They kind of have these packs you can buy on PlayStation, maybe 4 or 5 games bundled together, and they're all kind of funny games like Fibbage, Pictionary, things like that. And you can play on your mobile phone up to 8 people on the TV, and it's a blast. Like, if you're with the family or with your friends, I highly recommend you get the Jackbox Party Pack. It's not very expensive, and it's like tons and tons of fun for whenever.
I've done it. It's so great.
You've done it, isn't it great? And kind of last one is for the Nintendo fans. There's the new Mario Party game, Mario Party Superstars, which blends all of kind of the classic games from the first Mario Party and gets them all together. So a nice blend of nostalgia and fun. Great for the kids, great for family, great for just having everybody over and getting competitive. So I would recommend that as a fun holiday starter. Those are my 3.
My girl's family plays Mario games to see who does the dishes. Loser does dishes.
Amazing.
Added stakes, I guess. Ricky, thanks so much for those picks. Hey, by the way, I want to know what you guys are playing out there. What video game recommendations do you think people should jump into over the holidays? And of course, what's your thoughts on all the TV shows coming our way in 2022? You excited for any? And Spider-Man, did you see it? No spoilers in the comments. All right, Ricky, don't go anywhere. Me and you, well, we got to go beyond the list. All right, Ricky, it's now time to dig deep in the archives of WatchMojo, pluck at an old top 10 list, go beyond that list. It's all about us. We give our own personal opinions, have a little discussion about it. Did WatchMojo get it right or wrong? They rarely get it wrong. Who are you kidding?
They rarely get it wrong, yeah.
But we're going to have a little bit of fun today. Like I said, this is kind of our holiday-themed episode. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been getting some of the WatchMojo guests to give me some of their holiday viewing picks. Well, today, this is WatchMojo's top 10 classic Christmas movies. So these are the top 10 that you should definitely be checking out. I have my own list, my own personal faves, so I'm excited to find out if yours match up with mine and if both of ours match up with this list. Now, just to by the way, there's plenty of WatchMojo lists about the holiday movies.
Yes, yeah.
There's actually a top 20 out there. This is the classic top 10. It came out in 2017. Okay, but you can find them all if you were looking for comedy, horror, whatever. So this is just the classics. No TV specials on this list. Some people are gonna be like, "Where's the Charlie Brown?" It's not here. Okay, this is movies. This is movies. Number 10. This is interesting. Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now there is that TV special. This one on this particular list comes from 2000. That's Jim Carrey. It's live action.
Yes.
This list came out before the Benedict Cumberbatch animated Dr. Seuss Grinch film, animated, which I really like. Did you watch the Jim Carrey one that's on this list?
Of course. Yeah. I don't even know how many times I've watched it. Yeah, I'm sure I watch it at least once or twice every Christmas. It's just so fun. I've always read so many funny stories about how he wanted to quit so bad because the makeup was so insane and he was there for so long that he just couldn't do it. He was going insane. So when I watch his performance, I know that he's really is the Grinch because he's so mad about that makeup and just being tired on set and going through it. It's such a masterpiece of a Christmas movie. There's no other Grinch in my heart for the live action stuff, like the faces he pulls, the stuff he gets up to. Instant classic. Instant classic.
Carrey's like none other, especially in this particular role. Absolutely. And I think that's, listen, there's been a few Dr. Seuss movies that have tried to do the live action. This is the only one that really worked. Remember the Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers?
I try not to. Yeah.
No, don't. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Number 9 on this list is one of my favorites. It's the Santa Claus, 1994. The first one. There's been 3 in the franchise. I say skip the third. The second one's okay. We're talking Tim Allen, Tim the Toolman Taylor, for those that know the Home Improvement. He takes on the role of Santa after Santa has an accident on his roof, and that's just fun stuff. Silly, but Tim Allen's sense of humor really shines through here.
I saw that in theaters, actually. I think when it came out, it was really fun. Yeah, it's a goofy Christmas movie, heartwarming goofy Christmas movie. It's great.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I forgot what he tweeted, but Tim Allen still very fondly remembers this, and he tweeted out something about the movie. So that always makes me feel good when the actors had good times making the movies that we love.
Yeah.
Right. Not Jim Carrey though. Okay. Number 8 is Scrooge, 1980 88. This is based obviously on the Charles Dickens classic novel, A Christmas Carol. This is Bill Murray. Bill Murray. It's a different take. I do like this, but I know people that say no, they don't like it. But I'm not going to argue with it.
I like Bill Murray. I don't think I've seen this one particularly. I know that there's so many variations on the Scrooge story that I can imagine. But for me, any fresh take on a story with Bill Murray in it, I'm there for it. Whatever, that's cool.
I don't know if it's on the list. Maybe it'll come later. But I love the Muppet version.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, the Muppet version is absolutely great. Yeah.
Michael Caine. Yeah, no, I think that one's great. Yeah, I would probably put that ahead of this. Who knows? Maybe it's still to come. Number 7, though, we talk about Jim Carrey's performance being magical in the role of the Grinch. Well, how about Will Ferrell's performance as Elf? Come on.
There's no way. What? Yeah, there's another one. I mean, Elf is another movie that I watch almost every single year. Will Ferrell, the only guy who's 6 foot something that can really convince you he's a child. It's incredible. It's incredible. You look at that guy and you're like, how is this a fully grown man? He's amazing. He's hilarious in that role. Another heartwarming, kind of finding your dad and trying to fit in the middle of the holidays. It hits on so many different levels, and it's just such a feel good, funny movie. And yeah, obviously Will Ferrell brings everything to it. They need to do a sequel or something.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Give us a sequel, because there's so much you could do with it. Because it was so fun, and I love the character, and I love the performances. Who was Zoe Deschanel? I think was also in here. Yeah, no, great stuff all around. Elf. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go watch it.
What are you doing?
Number 6. Oh, we got to pay homage to the shirt. Home Alone at number 6. Wow, I thought it would be a lot closer to the top. I mean, that's a classic to me. Listen, we've been having a lot of fun talking about some of these sequels that have been not so good. So Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2 for me, those are both classics. I love number 2. Number 3, anything without Macaulay Culkin, forget it. Even the most recent one they tried.
I'm gonna watch it. They need to bring Macaulay back. I mean, he's acting now, right?
Yeah.
So bring him back and do Home Alone's great. They what an original concept. At the time you're like, this is so cool. I remember putting booby traps all over my house when I saw that movie, and my parents what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm Home Aloneing the place. Come on. Yeah, great. Bad influence on me, but great movie.
No, and not only so Macaulay Culkin's great. They've tried with all these other actors, not so great, but also the Burglars, right?
Oh my God, of
Harry
course,
and Marv.
Yeah.
So fun. Come on. Yeah, all right.
Let's do it.
I'm shocked that number 5 is only number 5 on this list, because this is the Demers family Christmas movie tradition. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 1989. That's the one we watch as a family every single year. Just too fun, so quotable. Chevy Chase,
crazy guy, man. That guy's I don't know. I watch him in Community. I watch him, everything he does. He is just amazing. He's hilarious. His face, his mannerisms,
And if you read the behind the scenes stories about Chevy Chase, apparently he's not the best guy to work with
at all.
But on screen, you can't argue with the results. He's so funny. No. And everyone else in the movie, Johnny Galecki plays the kid. He's Big Bang Theory.
I know, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
I completely forget about these kids, and then you're like, oh wait, yeah, you've been in the Big Bang for the past many years. What the heck?
Yeah, amazing. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was one of the neighbors. Love those characters. Come on, so funny. All right, now I'm so curious to see what makes the top 5. But because the word classic is in there, I got a feeling they might be older films, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. Miracle on 34th Street. That is a little older, 1947. So they're going with the original. This is apparently the movie that'll make you believe in Santa.
I think I watched this, but I was a kid. I barely remember anything about this movie. Yeah, I think it's probably one of the first ones I ever watched. This and another one that's a little bit later on the list, but I barely remember it.
They remade it to almost kind of, when they do the reboots or the remakes and it's almost shot for shot.
Shot for shot, yeah, just to make it just to give it a new coat of paint. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what this is. But yeah, I know you're right. It's not magical for the kids, for the family. It's all about Santa. Number 8, A Christmas Carol. Okay, this being the 1938. I was right. We're going to get older. We're going to get more classic. We're going to get black and white. But you're right. No, This is the one, and if you talk to people of a certain generation, okay,
Yeah.
this is the Christmas Carol that they watch every year, and you'll find it. By the way, every year on TV, at least here in Canada, you'll see it Christmas Eve at midnight.
Yeah, yeah.
Like every year on a specific channel.
Every single year. Yeah, yeah. It's a classic.
Yeah. So that one is the Scrooge, but I still stick with my Muppet version.
So much more, just more fun.
For the kids. But no, I'm sure a lot of people are agreeing with this Christmas Carol 1938 edition. Number 2 is A Christmas Story. Oh, this is great stuff. 1983. This is the one with the BB gun, right? The tongue on the stuck to the pole. So it's the lamp with the leg. This is a funny movie.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen it. This is another one I haven't watched in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah. But
maybe I'll catch up on it. Yeah, I'm just getting some flashbacks now to the tongue on the pole and some good moments.
Well, that's the thing with some of these movies, Ricky. Even if you haven't seen them, they're so iconic that just images or just things
or on in the background. Yeah, it's like subconsciously, like, oh, I feel like I've watched this, but I've never actually seen it.
Because it's out there. It's out there. So that's the key. All right, here's some honorable mentions before we get to our number 1. Oh, there we go. Muppets Christmas Carol's an honorable mention. 1992. There we go. Good job, Mojo. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Because debate. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it a Halloween movie? I guess that's why it's an honorable mention.
I watch it at Halloween, but I've heard people watch it at Christmas. Yeah, the rom-commers they're saying, where's Love Actually? Well, it's in the honorable mentions. I know that people watch this. Have you ever seen this? I saw it on a date when it first came out.
Love Actually?
Yeah.
No, never seen it.
It's a great Christmas movie.
Great Christmas movie?
Yeah, and for the rom-com genre, this is kind of quintessential. There's such a big cast, and it actually works. Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Oh, yeah. I'm sure my mom's watched that a bunch of times on the Hallmark Channel. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you'll find it on all those channels. Ernest. This is like one that I watched as a kid. Ernest Saves Christmas. You ever see that?
Ooh.
Ernest.
Let me just.
Do you remember Ernest? Maybe you're too young. I'm gonna age myself. This is old though. I remember this. Jim Varney was the actor. Anyways, he did all these Ernest-related movies. He went to jail once.
That's
Halloween.
right. Yes. Yeah.
But there's a Christmas one, and as a kid, it's fun because he's almost like, I don't want to say a poor man's Jim Carrey, but he's got the physical attribute. Like, he was a very physical comedian. So there's some Jim Carrey-esqueness in there. The movies aren't as good as Carrey's, but I'll agree. This is a nice honorable mention. Nice touch. All right, here we go. You ready for this? The classic Christmas movie. Yeah, I can see it. It's the one that people talk about and watch every single year. It is A Wonderful Life. 1946. So quotable, but also a little dark.
Very. My dad made me watch that movie one Christmas, and I just remember bawling at the end of it.
Yeah.
Just like when he gets with his whole family, like it's about family. It's like
family, friends helping.
Like you have to go through all of these. You take things for granted. A lot of things in life you take them for granted until you lose them. And this is just really a tale about like finding and appreciating the beauty in life. Like it is a wonderful life. It's a great transcends time, transcends barriers. I think everybody should watch it just to be grateful for family and for friends and for everything we have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with that. And I'm not going to disagree that, Ricky, you're such a fun guest to have, and I can't wait to have you back in the new year. I want to wish you and your family and your friends a very happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I just want to say one thing. There's one movie on I know it might not be a classic, but Jingle All the Way. Like, what the heck? Oh my God.
Sinbad. Sinbad.
Turbo Man. Let's go.
Turbo Man.
It might have made it on a more recent list, but I'm just throwing that out there. You guys absolutely need to watch Jingle All the Way if you have not. Top notch. Hilarious.
So fun.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of fun, it is now time for our Mojo Chats. That's right. There's more than one this week of the week, and we are kicking things off with a good one. Take a look. It's an entertaining and inspiring animated feature film. It's titled Poupelle of Chimney Town, and I can't wait to find out all about it. And I've got the right person to talk to me. It's Tony Hale, who's doing one of the voices in the English version. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Let's talk about this movie because it's so interesting to read the synopsis and hear what it's about. And if you look at the visuals, I mean, it's eye-popping.
Mhm.
Why don't you tell the folks at home what they can expect out of this one?
Yeah, it's based on this really popular this Japanese children's book of the same name. And it's just a really incredible story of this little boy named Lubici, who they live in this town full of smoke. And his father always tells him that there are stars above the smoke. And nobody in the town believes him, and they think he's crazy. And my character Poupelle comes into the picture and creates a friendship with Lubici and believes in him. And they go on this journey to find the stars, and it's just a real powerful message of hope. And to your point, the animation is crazy. Like, it's crazy beautiful.
It really
So
is.
yeah.
Your character Poupelle, he's a literal garbage. Like he's made of garbage. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, he's made of garbage. And I hit me this morning, like I played Forky where I like trash
Yeah.
and Toy Story, and now I'm Poupelle and I'm made of garbage. So there's a theme going on, sir. I don't know what that says about me.
I love it. Well, you just mentioned Forky, so obviously this isn't your first foray into animated voiceovers and animated voice acting, rather. This one's a little bit different because there is that alternate version, right? Is that, as an actor, as a voice actor, jumping in this role, is that kind of daunting, knowing that other version's there, and is that you going to live up to that, or is it?
Oh, the other version with the Japanese?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes. It's always, yeah. I would say the daunting part is these people have lived with this movie, the creators, for years. Like, animation takes a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want your voice to match their vision. So you have to, there's a lot of back and forth of trying to find that voice, and you just hope that you can match what they want. So that's always gives me a little anxiety of like, oh God, it feels like the stakes are pretty high, you know?
I can imagine. And then the English voice casting lineup is actually pretty stellar. Very impressive stuff. Did you get to interact with any of these? I'm always wondering how these animation movies work. Are you
yeah,
alone?
sure. I'm totally alone. I'm totally alone. And I don't think I've done animation a long time, and I think maybe two or three times I've worked with actors during it. But for the most part, you're by yourself. So the director is feeding you lines, and then you're reacting off that. But rarely are you with other actors. And I remember doing Toy Story. I didn't meet any of the actors on this movie. I mean, I met them during press for Toy Story, but it's like doing it, you never meet each other.
And then we think that you guys are all in the same room, having a pizza,
yeah,
doing your lines, and having a party.
Voice directors across the world be like, "You're eating cheese during voice."
Shows what I know. Shows what I know. Okay, before we go, for those that are going to check this out, what do you hope they get out of it? Because I love a movie, especially these animated movies, where there's these messages, and this one sounds like it's full of them.
Yeah, it's a real. I mean, there's a lot of messages. One about that kind of hope and the perseverance, but it's about this real beautiful friendship. And I think one thing that's powerful, one of the many things that's powerful about it, is Poupelle sees Lubici and he believes in Lubici. And we all just need that one person to believe in them, to have that longevity of that dream. And also, just honestly, man, there's a lot of movies out there, but this is incredibly life-giving, and it does give that hope. And we've had a chaotic 2 years, and we need that hope, so it's really special that way.
Yeah, no, and I think you're right. I think we do need it. And if Tony Hale's in it, I'm watching it.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, Tony. Big fan. How cool is Tony Hale? All right, now let's hear from Molly Quinn about her horror film, Agnes. The movie is titled Agnes, and it tells the disturbing story of a nun in a convent with strange goings on. When the investigation takes place, well, all manner of terror is unleashed, and I'm so excited to tell me all about it. We've got the lovely Molly Quinn. Hey, Molly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and I'm excited to talk to you about this. I love me some horror movies, and this movie is interesting because On the surface level, you're thinking, ooh, it's going to be like The Exorcist. We got an exorcism. It's going to be like those type of movies. It takes a bit of a turn. So we get a little something different out of it. What drew you in particular? Because you're also, you're starring in it, but you're also on the producing side as well.
Yeah, I think what drew me to the film as a producer and as an actor was the bait and switch. Because you do start out the movie and you're like, okay, I know what this is. This is a possession film. This will be fun. And then we basically have like a metaphorical car crash in the middle of the movie, and we just go in a completely different direction. And getting to be an indie filmmaker, it's really fun to just take a genre that we love, horror, and tell a story from just a different angle,
Yeah, no, and I think you're absolutely right. One of the things too that I like about horror in movies most of the time is you get some really interesting themes, right? On the surface level, you're going to get scared, you're going to get, squeeze someone's hands or thighs, whoever you're sitting next to.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a pillow. Whatever you got. Hopefully it's not an animal, a cat. But this movie has got some interesting themes. Let some people know what we could maybe look for or try to uncover as we go through it.
I think the film is really an expression of grief and what happens when we don't know how to handle our own traumas and we don't have people in our lives who are willing to listen. Because you see Mary reach out for help. Like, it's not even that veiled. Like when she's talking to her two sisters, Sister Ruth and Sister Honey, when they try to get her to come to a different convent, she tells them, when I pray, I don't hear God anymore. And their response is about how great their soup line is. You know what I mean? Like, they just can't register that she needs help because they are still dealing with the shock of their old convent being broken up and the exorcism that they saw of their sister Agnes. So you really just have a lot of people that are trying to rebuild their own lives and are incapable of helping each other. And that's a dangerous and scary place to be in.
No, it really is. And I totally got that too. Yeah, it's the importance of trauma and kind of uncovering all that. Molly, I want to stick with you in your personal life as far as being a fan of horror or maybe not so much. What's your relationship like with this genre? You were in, what was it, Dr. Sleep, right? So that's another
I have a cameo. Yeah, got a cameo in
There you
Dr.
go.
Sleep. I love horror. Horror is my favorite genre.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. I love the stories that you can tell through horror. We watched *Malignant* last night, and
So
it was so good. It was so fun. I loved how specific it was. I loved getting to watch a modern creature horror. Because those are things that I think we saw a lot in the 80s. But, I think James Wan took the fun of that and gave us something entirely new. So yeah, I love that. I love it for the entertainment, like with *Malignant*. I love things like the Shining, which really are just dealing with alcoholism, and how that can destroy a person, destroy a family. Yes, to *Midnight Mass, another Mike Flanagan project, which is very religious, but really is about love lost and trying to get that back, and how you can't stop time. You just can't. It always goes poorly when you try to interfere, because I don't believe in a God, but I believe in life. I think life laughs at us when we try to change things.
No, absolutely. How easy is it as an actress to, at the end of the day, right, when you go home to watch? Because this movie is very atmospheric, very creepy. I think after a day on set, I might have trouble tossing and turning in my bed, might have trouble sleeping. Is that the case?
With this one, yes. With this one in particular was because I was exercising a lot of my own real world demons while making this movie. So it was very personal. And I was at a museum the other day with Rachel True and Haley McFarland, my co-stars in the movie, and they were talking about in Oklahoma City where we shot. They went to a couple exhibits and stuff, and I just said, yeah, while you guys were at that exhibit, I was just sitting in the shower rocking.
Oh no.
Just like trying to, be ready for the next day, because this movie took a toll, and it was worth it. It was worth it. But yes, I really bared my soul for this movie. So as entertaining and as scary as it is, I hope when people watch, they can relate to some of the things that Mary is doing and what she's going through.
Absolutely. I'm sure they will. So yeah, definitely. We encourage everyone out there. The movie's called Agnes. Turn down the lights and snuggle up. Get ready for a ride. Thanks so much, Molly. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for another episode, everybody. My thanks, of course, to Ricky for joining in on all the fun, and of course, Tony Hale, Molly Quinn for chatting, and a big thanks to you for watching and listening. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you in the new year.